95 players gathered for the chance to win a PlayStation 5 in Edison format, of all things. Alright, to the 30% of you that have not smashed the 11 crap out of that subscribe button, smash it so you guys don't miss out on more awesome content. We'll be doing a little bit different of a breakdown today. Yes, there is a crap ton of regionals, but I figured since, we have Maze reveals coming later today, we put up this breakdown. So this is for an Edison tournament that ran this past weekend with 90 plus players. And your most represented deck here is Black Wings. Now, to not anybody's surprise here, I'm not surprised to see this. We'll be looking at a lot of Black Wing stuff here once we kind of start to head on in to those top deck lists. So you'll see some of the big differences from going in a time capsule 12 years ago, but it's neither here nor there. Now we also have Gladiator Beast as well. I don't remember much about Edison format. I really feel like I should. I know gadgets were playable, but they're not like super amazing. So, Gladiator Beast actually making it to second place. No, excuse me, it was third place out of this event, which actually is a pretty good showing. I'm actually very happy to see that. We also had Frog Monarch. Frog Monarch was actually one of my favorite decks out of this particular era to actually get the chance to do something. We are playing an Infernal Prodigy engine in this, which is actually pretty cool. We also had a working Lightsworn deck, or basically you're going to be using a lot of Lightsworn monsters to facilitate a lot of combo, while, you turbo through to, good old Christia as a means to kind of detour your opponent from getting the chance to play the game. And then we're going to have what I'm going to dub as Fairy Control. It's basically going to be Shining Angel, Nova Summoner with Archlord Christia, and Dimensional Alchemist here, and Freed the Wandering General here to kind of step through and get to some particularly really good combos. And they actually finished second place in Swiss, second place overall, and then finished undefeated in Swiss, which is pretty amazing. Let's pass on over to these top deck lists. Winning our event here was none other than Black Wings. Now, from what we've been seeing here from your overall representation, Black Wings are by far the heaviest hitter out of this format. I mean, the combo lines that you're able to do, pressuring your opponent through the synchro summons, and just this deck having a lot of utility answers, plus a very solid backing for its control is going to be one of the reasons why, you see this deck get the chance to do its thing. Plus, hiding behind a good old Royal Oppression with other levels of protection, it's very, very solid for this era. Now, a lot of the side deck options down here will round out a lot of your choices. DDVs being powerhouses. You'll be able to handle a lot of the choices and things that this particular format kind of throws at you overall. Plus, having, a Qualoot in your hand to back you out feels very, very good at the end of the day. So don't underestimate just what kind of level of power that you're seeing a deck like this bring to the table, because it is very, very strong. Second place here was actually our Fairy Control deck here. Now, basically, Dimensional Alchemist, DD Warrior Lady are going to be your big power players here. You have Soul Purity Light as well to be basically the ability to deploy it and then control the opponent. Basically everything that's good within the light hemisphere you'll be able to do. Plus you get to play Return from the Different Dimension as kind of a slow roll OTK, and then, set up the Archlord Christia and punish your opponent. I'm not really surprised to see that this deck did well. It's essentially just very good power cards backed up with a lot of very good strategy. Also, it's so weird to see Nobleman across out, seeing play again down here, but all of your answers and everything that you're pretty much used to seeing in this format, I think, can be handled by this. Plus, Herald acting as a hand trap for this era is something that I don't think a lot of people really were too prepared for. Also, Honest just being a card that you can back up on, pretty good. Is that Gladiator Beast getting third and fourth place? Yeah, it is. My favorite. The fact that we get Prism and the fact that we get Cold Wave all wrapped up into one very nice deck here, so you can do your thing. Now, the thing that makes this really cool is the fact that you are seeing Trap Stun see play. Now, especially when you see Blackwing players out here setting up something like a Royal Oppression and Icarus attack, these cards that can punish you that you don't need to see. Trap's going to let you kind of roll out here and actually play the game. It's the thing that made Gladiator Beast actually a pretty solid deck, was your defensive measurements that you could take. Also, you get to play, you know, Starlight Road here, which is just another level of protection for this deck. So overall, I'm not surprised to see Gladiator Beast perform. Also, shout out to Waboku here, still not having a foil printing at this point in time. But this deck, Defense, Book of Moon something, tack into it with your Gladiator Beast, go ahead and tag out into something more threatening. Congratulations, you start winning the game. For our other third, fourth slot here is another Blackwing deck. I feel like a lot of these Blackwing decks kind of going to blend together here, because you kind of go through the same defensive measures here. You have the Qualoots in the hand acting as the additional hand traps. You get some sort of Icarus attacks to blow up the opponent's cards, and then you essentially hide behind Royal Oppressions, and then Gridlock grind your opponent to a halt while your Black Whirlwind just generates massive advantage for you. Did I get that right? Does that sound like the Blackwing experience for this particular era? Because that's what it very much feels like. I do like the fact that some players chose to play Pulling the Rug while others opted not to, which I think definitely makes things a lot better. And also, My Body as a Shield's a stupid good card for this era, but you only really see it show up in a lot of these side deck tech choice options down here. So I like what we're seeing here. Definitely shows a lot of cool diversity and a lot of cool option trees given for the format. Next up, this is our Frog Monarch deck. Okay, so yes, this is the era where Substitute, go Burr, drop all the frogs, you can drop the swappies, whatever utility that you want to pull off with this card, you're going to be able to do. Obviously, getting the Treeborn Frog into the graveyard is the go-to plan, because as soon as those standby phases roll around, you're like, oh, look at this, I got my free tribute fodder. Now this is where you see the Dark Dust Spirit up here, providing you a very strong backing. And in this particular format, let me tell you, Dark Dust Spirit was a stupid good card. Especially, you know, when Caiuses start rolling out here and start pinging your opponent for 1,000, Ryza disrupts your opponent, puts a really bad card back on the top of their deck. You're going to see a lot of very disgusting plays that this deck can actually do. And I think it's the thing that, once again, I liked about this deck back in the day, was your controlling aspects for this feel very, very strong. Next up here, another Blackwing deck. Now this one opted for some spicy stuff. I see that we are playing triple Dark Grepher in here. This is going to give you some dumping options, mainly to get the value into the graveyard, to get the additional synchro loaded up. How often that actually comes up, I think, well, I mean, you saw the other list in here that weren't really going down this path. So if you're planning on doing this, it's just another level of option for you to mess around with here. Of course, we're playing double Royal Oppression in the main, double Black Whirlwind, and then there's the Brain Control. Take control of your opponent's monster and then go ahead and synchro on out with it. Feels really good. And then down here you have the triple Pulling the Rug, and then the double copies of the Deck Devastation Virus. You notice a lot of these side decks have a lot of Cyber Dragon in them, just so you can deploy and then laugh at your opponent. You're like, oh, hey, look at this. Like, good luck answering, you know, my big, crazy boss monster. Next up is our next Blackwing deck. Now, once again, you see we're back to more of the original here. Now, this build is playing Gores, which I haven't seen a lot of that so far, actually. Obviously, we are playing the Dark Eruption in here as well, and this build is getting a little bit fancy with one copy of Starlight Road. I also see here that we are playing double Dust Tornado in here as well. Okay, so we're really trying some very interesting option trees here for this. Double Soul Release down there is fine. I think Soul Release was very, very standard for this format, it feels like. And Trap Dust Shoot's just the main go-to. Now, keep in mind that this build is not main in any Royal Oppressions. I don't know if they just chose to not play them. But overall, it's very, very interesting to kind of see what they were trying to do here. Yeah, and unfortunately, I don't see anything else really too crazy here that sticks out to me. All these Blackwing lists kind of blend in together like current meta. And then we have Light Swarm with Hamtaro in it. Oh man, the ability to toggle for the Raikou is so good in this deck. And then you see, yeah, we're playing triple Archlord Christie with a triple Herald of Orange Light. You're just going to deploy and go. That's the whole purpose of this deck. At the end of the day is just see how much power you can get with the Light Swarm combo, and then detour with your opponent. Also double gold sarcophagus. Pretty solid for this era. So that is your breakdown for Unmatched Gaming's Edison format tournament. Like I said, a little bit different, but I still like to see some of the things that are going on here. So please leave a comment down below, tell me what you guys think, and I'll see your beautiful faces back here later in the day, guys. Peace out. Patrons, thank you.
Thank you so much for watching. Check out these other videos.